I know everyone's getting their food, but if I could have your attention, if you could pay attention for just a couple minutes so we can get this part of the day started. I know it's been a long day, and I appreciate that. But what we're talking about for the next few minutes is very important. There is something that's significantly more important than the work we do. And it's the philanthropic work that all of you do back home in your home states. Over the last couple years, we've instituted a tradition of giving back because there is something much bigger than all of us. It's a cause that's much better, much greater, much more important. Selling what we sell is very important, but giving back is way more important. And so in the years past, we've had a tremendous response from all of you about the overall projects that we've done. In 2013, we gave to a children's hospital. In 2014, we gave to Alzheimer's Foundation. And in 2015, we'll give to the cancer treatment centers. Cancer is something that has impacted many of our lives. Unfortunately, the disease has taken many of our loved ones and shaped and changed our lives for many years, past, present, and future. Personally, cancer took my father 17 years ago, who was also my best friend. And I will tell you that cancer is an ugly disease, and none of us want to have to deal with it. But because it's made an impact on my life and so many people's lives, we felt that there was an opportunity for us to really make a difference. To make a difference today because we believe in something greater than all of us and what we do day in and day out. So, I'd like to take a couple minutes. I know it's been a long day, but this is important. I'd like to take a couple minutes to have a few speakers come up. They'll be short, they'll be brief, and then we'll get to our service project and we'll explain the logistics of the service project and what next to come. So first I'd like to introduce the Vice President of Solution Design, Jeff Brandeis.
Thanks, Paul. Robin Bradford is up here with me as well. The two of us are going to share with you some of our experiences and our struggles that we've had with the people we love as well as individually that had cancer. I'm going to let Robin first talk and then I'll speak.
Well, good evening. I'm really Jeff's backup dancer. That's why I'm up on stage. Thank you. But really, there's really not much good that you can say about cancer. For those of us that have experienced it, it's a fight. You know, cancer is, and anytime you get in a fight, you're going to have some battle wounds. You're going to have some scars. You're going to be physically and emotionally kind of beat up. Some of us have a little bit easier time than others, but all of us have to endure these challenges, and it's just like new life's realities. Last week, Jeff asked me to speak to the group, and I was like, I don't know if I want to do that. I mean, I really tried to say no at least twice, but he's such a nice man. I said, okay, I'll do this. I will do it for you. But you know, after I thought about it for a few days, I said, you know, there really are a couple of messages I would like to share with you guys. One being is early detection. And you guys may think, oh, we hear that all the time. But I'm telling you, that is probably the key to my successful venture with cancer. And I know that it's awkward because you think, you know, early detection, well, how do you do that? Well, you've got to do that self-exam. But I'm telling you, mammograms are not 100%. I'm a living example of it. Matter of fact, a lady called me just Monday night when I was at home in Atlanta, and she just wanted to talk about the experience because she had just gotten through her cancer surgery maybe 4 weeks ago, and she just wanted to say, you know, how long does it hurt? You know, all of this stuff. But she was in the same boat as me. She found it early. She had a mammogram that said, hey, you got a clean bill of health, you're good. But what moving her back was she had a place that just wouldn't heal. It was sore and just didn't go away. So my one message to you guys is, do the self-exam. As awkward as it is, do the self-exam. It pays off. It's going to make a better quality for your life. And the other thing that I want to say to you guys is, as a breast cancer survivor, and it's been 5 years now since I've had my surgery, I am actually proud of our company. But what I want to say, thank you, but what I want to say is I'm actually proud that our leadership is having us, get involved with community service. I think even a small gesture, a gift, is really important to people that are struggling. When I will tell you guys just one short story, after my surgery, for 6 straight weeks, people brought dinners to my home for my family every night. 6 weeks, y'all. Some of these people I didn't even know. Now, some of them I knew, but some of them I didn't know. But that was something that was just awesome to me and to my family. They learned what giving and caring was all about. So, I think what we do, even if it's just this small little, put together a gift bag, it will touch the heart of somebody that's receiving it. So I'm grateful for our leadership for saying, let's do a service project. I think it's a good thing. So my prayer for all of y'all is that you will be able to manage all of your struggles and your joys in life. And when you have the opportunity to give back like we do tonight, let's all do it with the right kind of attitude. So thank you.
Robin, thank you so much. She really did not want to do this. But she did a great job, and I know it really comes from the heart. So, Robin, thank you for having the faith in me and doing this. Cancer, as Paul said, it's affected everyone in one way or another. I'm sure you know people, you have relatives, it's affected you personally, as well as others that you may know. It's a 5-letter word that has words than any curse word that I could never imagine. Cancer isn't just a word, it changes people's lives. Hearing the words "you have cancer" is something I would never wish upon anybody. I first heard these words when I was a teenager. My father told me that my mother had breast cancer. And she needed to have some surgery. I looked and I was a teenager, I was a young kid. I didn't really understand what was going to really transpire. We didn't have Google back then. I didn't really know what to go look at or go research on. And the doctors gave her 5 years to live. Fortunately, she lived another 44 years, and she beat the odds. So it was great having my mom around for that long. In 1996, we moved to Chicago as CCH relocated the family. Shortly after we moved, my wife Jan, who happens to be here today, thank you for joining us, Jan, found out that she had breast cancer. Jan's fight began. Our fight began. I remember telling my mother the news of what we just found out. She told me that Jan will need me more than ever, and just to be there for her whenever she needed to be, and help her be strong. We spoke to our kids, Daniel, who many of you know, and Megan also, who was here with my wife, who was my daughter. We sat them down and we explained to them what was going to transpire over the next few months. How much they actually understood, how much they actually comprehended it. At that point, I really couldn't tell you. But it was a difficult time in our lives to go through. We had just moved, we had no family, we had no friends. All we had really was each other as a family, but we also had the cancer treatment centers that we went to for their support. Without them, we would not have gotten through everything that we needed to get through. Jan's doctor told us that she's got at least 50 years to go. So we told him we were going to keep him to that prediction, and so far he's right. When CCH purchased, when WK purchased CCH, it was time for us to move again. So this time we went down to sunny Florida, down here. I look back upon our time in Chicago, and it was less than 18 months. That we moved there for a purpose. We had a reason, and we took care of that reason, and we were starting fresh by moving into Florida. As I said, it made Jan and I stronger as a unit, and made our family stronger as well. but it was time to move on. Yes, I know, it takes 20 seconds for it to change. So I'm still waiting. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Maybe. Help. I can do that way too, I guess, go next.
They work. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
This is like doing a demo. You know, you prep up, you know everything's ready, you got the slides,
Oops.
and what happens? You went
There
too
we go.
far.
There you go.
Thank you. So this is a breast cancer bat that Dan gave to Jan a few years ago. It's mounted in my office. Well, actually, it's our office. Jan shares a little spot on the side, but it's on the wall. You notice it has 2 years on it, 1996 and 2011. In 2011, the cancer returned again, and this time it had spread. The fight was back. And Jan's had several surgeries since then, but I'm not going to get into those today, but she's here, she's doing well, and that's the important thing. A few years back, Jan started going to Florida Cancer Treatment Center here in Florida for her monthly treatments. A year ago, Megan actually got a job as well at the same center that Jan goes to for her treatment. We were having dinner one night, and Megan says to me, "I lost my first patient." At first, I didn't really understand what she was really talking about. Then it finally hit me. The people that work at these cancer centers, they're special people. There's a bond that forms with the patients coming in to the people that work in these centers. I know I could never work in one of those centers. Jan will tell you I get queasy just looking at a needle when they take blood from me. But these people have the patience of a saint. The patients come in, they give hugs, they give kisses to these people. It becomes a nice family. I give tribute and I thank you for those who work in these treatment centers because they're unbelievable people and they're for all the support. As I said earlier, cancer is tough, but there's also, if you want to look at some good times, I mean, we do have some fun. We've participated in some cancer walks, and Megan loves getting dressed up and gets Jan dressed up for these walks, and her imagination just takes hold. It's really begins to take a blast. And here's another cancer walk that we do. And we've also done bowling with boobies as an event as well. And it's really, again, it's a way to raise money, it's a way to bring people together, and all for a common cause. Jan gets to walk, not that it's a privilege, but you know, Clearwater Phillies in Class A where we live. They have a once a year breast cancer walk around the field, so she walks on the field. And again, we've done a lot of breast cancer walks. And the Bowling for Boobies is definitely one of these fun events that we try to do when they have them. I even had a great opportunity one day. This is actually on the Delta flight. The flight attendant, who I got actually kind of friendly with, because you fly Delta or the same flight long enough, you get to see the same flight attendant. So Maria asked me, "Hey Jeff, get here. Get up, put this apron on, and I'm going to make an announcement. I'm going to have you walk down the aisle, down the plane." I collected $265, all for the breast cancer cause last October. A few weeks ago, I was watching ESPN, and there was a tribute to Stuart Scott. He recently received an award at the ESPYs. Stuart spoke during that ESPY award, and unfortunately, he passed away pretty recently. During his speech, or his acceptance speech for the award, he said this, and I'd like to quote him: "When you die, it doesn't mean you lose to cancer. You beat cancer by how you live, why you live, and the manner you live it." And I think that's really true for all of us today. Dan and I support Mom in our pink shirts. We actually coordinated tonight. Megan supports Mom in the ways of being creative with her dress and attire. We are a family. We survive as a family, and we're there to support her as a family. This is Jan's license plate on her car. Survivor. She fights every day, every minute, and yes, some days are much more difficult than others. But we get through those, and we set new goals every day, every week, every month, every year. We will continue the fight. Jan will continue the fight together as a family, because as a family, we are stronger than her fighting it alone. I thank you for that. I'd like to bring up Beth Bush from Florida Cancer Center Foundation, who's the Center Foundation Manager for the local treatment center here. She's based out of Orlando, and if I can figure out how to do this, I'm getting there. Wow. I got it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, no pressure, right? Those are hard stories to follow. Goodness. Okay, well, Jeff tried hard. I'm going to help him out a little bit. I'm Beth Bush, and I manage the Florida Cancer Specialists Foundation. Our headquarters is in Sarasota, but we help patients of any kind of cancer anywhere in the state of Florida. We're going to see if I can figure, there we go. So our phone starts ringing before our paid or volunteer staff get to the office every day. And the phone calls go something like this. We have an elderly gentleman crying. He and his wife are retired. They're living on Social Security. They can't afford their wife's cancer payments. So to pay them, they have not been paying their rent. They're 3 months behind. They've just gotten their eviction notice. And through his tears, he said, I have to decide this month. Do I pay my wife's chemo, or do I pay our house payment? And how is a man supposed to make a decision like that? So what did we tell him? We said, sir, this month, you don't have to make that choice. Another call we got was from a man who had had an illness for about a year. It was diagnosed incorrectly, so he was literally hospitalized, for about a year. About 8 months through the hospitalization, they realized that what he had was a rare form of cancer, and he'd lost his eyesight through the treatment. So when he called our office, he wanted to apply for help. We told him about the foundation. He sent us an application. The day after we got his application, he called again, and he was sitting in his neighbor's yard crying. He said, I used to have a good job. I used to have a great wife. I used to drive a car. I've lost everything. I'm blind, I can't drive, I can't work, and now I've lost my electricity. I'm not a man, I have no dignity and I have no pride, and I don't know what to do. So I said, I'm going to tell you what to do. Stand up, because he was sitting on the ground crying. Stand up, you do have dignity, you do have pride, and today you're going to get your electricity back. Our foundation cares for the non-medical needs of people who are going through cancer treatment. Even if you have great insurance, there are co-pays that could be $100 a visit, and maybe you had to go 3 times last week. There are co-pays for chemo that are $5,000 a visit, and maybe you have to go twice that month, and that's $10,000. So the people who come to us feel like they're having to make choices between paying their bills and fighting this battle with cancer, and we don't think that they should have to do that. So we fundraise all the time in just about every way possible, and we take care of those bills for them so that they can truly focus on their battle with cancer. We take care of rent, mortgage, car payment, electricity, water. I could tell you so many stories tonight. One of the best phone calls we got was someone who said, wow, your doctor saved my life, and now your foundation has saved my spirit. We make a difference in people's lives today. When someone gives a donation to us today, someone else gets to keep their home, someone else gets to keep their car, their electricity. The other thing that we've done is institute a volunteer program. And our volunteers go to cancer clinics throughout the state, and they talk to people who are getting chemo, they sit with their families, they give them a bottle of water, they give them some friendship and some understanding. Due to your efforts this evening, they'll also be able to hand them a wonderful gift bag full of things that are going to make them smile. We did a project similar to this in Naples not too long ago, and when we delivered the bags, the staff cried, the patients cried, and it was tears of joy instead of tears of sadness. So we want to thank you so very much on behalf of our foundation and on behalf of all the patients that you're going to touch. Thank you for your efforts tonight and your commitment to your community service. Thank you.
Thank you, Beth, and wow, Jeff and the Brandeis family and Robin, truly amazing. You know, this has touched and it continues to touch all of us, and I'll tell you that I just had a conversation as a leadership team, and we want you to know that we are going to donate $5,000 to your organization in the name of Jan Brandeis. Okay, so this is where the fun begins and we get to give back. What I'd like to start with is for the next 10 minutes, okay, no presentations. I'd like you to only talk about, be honest with this, only talk about your philanthropic efforts back home. With your table, with anyone next to you, just discuss that. For the next 10 minutes, I want you to discuss it. Before you get into conversation, talk about how you can help each other. Talk about what the overlap is. After our first service project a couple years ago, you all talked to me about it, and we said we're going to continue this project for sure. So talk about it, share it with each other, post it, whatever you've learned. Let's have some fun with this. Second thing is, we're going to fill tote bags to go to a handful of these cancer treatment centers. On either side of the room are tote bags that you'll be able to fill. You'll find the bags, and then you'll have to go to both sides of the room to fill it. On the back of your badge is a number. We will call that. Only go get a tote bag when you hear your number called, okay? It's a tight room. We're gonna have to be very careful of not having a logistical nightmare here, but you'll hear your number called and you'll have it. Also, you see these red cards? These red cards, I'd love each of you to fill out. It can be something as simple as hang in there, but whatever you wanna write it, seal the envelope, and put it in the bag that you fill out, okay? Hang on, there's a correction. Public correction here. I told you, I make mistakes all the time.
I didn't brief him well enough. On the front of your badge where your table number is from the general session, we're just going to use the numbers there, and we're going to be calling in increments of 5, so don't get too confused, okay? You can go to either side of the room, and SSLT, I need you to take your places behind the tables. So as you're discussing within the next 5 minutes or so, I need tables 1 through 5 from the badges, your table number from the badge. 1 through 5 can make their ways to the table and fill the totes. Thank you.
Thank you and have a good evening.